Yeah, definitely. But uh, but
So
yeah.
yeah, that was
By the
that
way,
that was that.
did you say soldering?
Yeah, he's like soldering it back together with like the thing.
Soldering with solder?
Solder is a term, bro. Look it up
No,
in the
that
computer world.
that's how solder is spelled with an L.
What
Solder is spelled with an L.
is it?
Yes. When you say soldering, it's Soldering. Soldering. Or you use
Wow.
solder.
And then here we go. I'm proven wrong again because there's a
Yeah.
computer chip. I had the
Was?
PSP, still am.
Okay. The good. What was your greatest cinematic experience?
So my most memorable cinematic, well, I've had so many good ones, but this one just stands out to
Yeah.
me.
Okay.
And it is that movie right there, Toy Story 3. So
Huh.
if I didn't see the movie in this way, it wouldn't have been the most memorable movie experience. Um,
Okay.
but I saw the movie a week early. I saw the premiere screening for our state. I saw the critic screening. It was the critic screening, and then they let in like some general admissions, like for like the last seats would fill up there, and it was at this huge movie theater that had like two levels to it. I mean, the place was jam packed. It was so busy. Everyone getting ready to see Toy Story 3 because it had been 10 years since Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
Um, so
Huge.
I could, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I could bring one person with me. So I brought my friend Josh. Shout out to Josh, my childhood best friend, still is. Um, so we walk in and we get to skip this line that is literally going across two levels to get into this movie to get a chance to see it early.
Yeah.
We get to skip the line. I had reserved seats with my name on it and everything. Um, it was really really cool, reserved for Lucas. I had two of them for me, and they had like people from Radio Disney there doing like a contest. I was on it. I got to answer a question. It was how
Huh.
many feature length Pixar movies had been made up until this point, and it was 11 at that point, so I won.
Wow.
And then yeah, so it was for like a journalism thing for like the newspaper in high school. So my teacher was there, and he like fucking kicks me and he's like, yeah, as a critic you don't do that. Anyway, so
You don't do what?
participate in things like that. We said it looks unprofessional. I don't know why.
This guy sounds
But
like a dickhole, but okay.
anyway, um so the movie starts and it instantly hits me in the nostalgia bone. I was like crying that whole movie. I cry during movies, but that movie in particular was just, it was too much. And
Yeah.
it was just, it was awesome. The movie, I know you don't like it, but I particularly really really do enjoy Toy Story 3.
Yeah. And that's cool.
And I got the poster there at that screening. It's ripped, it's in horrible shape, but that was the one that I got. And being like next to Harry Potter, like my one of my favorite franchises of all time, it was so cool to be like one of the only people in the state that got to see it early. You know, things weren't leaked
Mm-hmm.
online like they are today. So it was
Right.
glorious. Everybody was respectful in the theater. Everybody loved it. I saw it early, and I still love the
Yeah.
movie to this day. And it's always a great story. I like telling it, and I wish I could go back to it. It was awesome. I got to write like a newspaper article for it and everything. It's so
Yeah.
cool. So I gotta say that was the best one, and I've had fun at like the Harry Potter events. I saw all those on day one. Like I didn't want to be cliche and pick that because I think everybody at this point would think I was, but I wanted to pick something a little different, and that one had a special factor to it. So everything about that
For
was
sure.
awesome. And at that
That's
point, it was
awesome.
like one of the biggest screens I had ever seen a movie on. Because I always went to Star AMC, so it was just glorious. It was so
Star
awesome.
AMC.
Yeah, where
That's
the
not a real
stars go,
location.
where the stars
Anyway,
go to get shot.
over and over
So
again. Well, that's a lovely little tale.
it is short and sweet.
Indeed.
I'm crying,
Mine
guys.
shouldn't be very long either, but it was in 2008, so it was a year after the previous failure, you know.
Mhm.
And so this experience kind of washed that out of my mouth as well. It was I guess I'll just say the title. You said your title right away. It was The Dark Knight.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, this was a movie still to this day was my most anticipated movie of all time. And it was
Okay.
just one of those things, like if that ended up being a failure, I probably would have ended it all, because that's how much this meant to me. I mean, I just to paint a picture for you, I would watch the trailers almost every single day. I would go on YouTube, which existed at the time.
Mhm.
I would go on YouTube and I would watch the TV spots over and over and over. I
Oh,
was
I can relate.
so
Yeah.
excited for this movie. And I remember seeing, for the very first time, the TV spot featuring the interrogation scene, Batman behind the Joker,
Mhm.
um, slamming his head down and,
Where's
all of that fun stuff. And it's just it was I was just so excited. I was a gigantic Heath Ledger fan, and I am not ashamed to say that I cried. I was distraught for like a week after he died. Not straight through, but I mean he was like
a literal superhero for you.
one of my favorite actors, and I was so excited he was going to be playing one of my favorite characters of all time, the Joker. And it was like every single bit of information I got from this, it was, I just ate it up. Everything was amazing. I remember sitting there on the computer the first time that very first photo of the Joker was released, what was like just his face. And it was like black around his face. And then the stories that he came up with the makeup for it, and the makeup artist had to replicate that makeup from that point forward because it was his design and all this kind of stuff. And he passed away at the age of 28, which is just so ridiculously young.
I didn't know he was that
I,
young.
I can't even imagine. And it was heartbreaking. And this was his final complete performance. He
Mhm.
did start on a movie after this, which was called The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
Really?
And
Huh.
yeah, and he got through like halfway through filming that movie. And the Johnny Depp, Colin Farrell, and Jude Law, the great guys that they are, stepped in for free and finished the movie,
Wow.
playing his character. And then they just kind of rewrote the movie a little bit to go around the fact that he looked different in certain scenes and whatnot. They got paid, and they donated the entirety of their salary to Matilda Ledger, which is his daughter. So
Wow.
for her college fund. So I have massive respect to those three guys as well. But that was not a complete performance. The role of the Joker in The Dark Knight was a complete performance. And I don't know, I was just so excited. And we had to get there It was me, my friend Anthony, and then my friend at the time, Tim. No longer my friend, but we had to get there. Oh, and Anthony's girlfriend at the time as well, Megan. We got there 5.5, 6 hours early. So what
Jesus.
that was the way you had to do it at the time. This movie was such a big deal. This was the first time I had seen this ever. They didn't release things before midnight, so we were going to the midnight showing, which completely sold out. The next showing after that was 1:30, I believe, and
What, did you
then the
go see it
showing
again?
after that was 2:30 or 3:30. We couldn't. It was sold out. Every single
Oh,
show is sold out. Um, but it was 12. I guess it's not important, but it was like 12, 1:30, and 3:30. So keep in mind, the theater did not close that night. They had a 3:30 a.m. showing
Jesus.
of The Dark Knight. And when we left from the 12 o'clock showing, we saw those people lined up out the door waiting to get into the theater for
Well,
the
thank God it's the
3:30
summertime when
showing.
that came out, because that's crazy.
It was absolutely amazing. It was truly, so we had to get there that early. It was before assigned seating. We picked our seats, and we had to hold on to our seats. None of us could get up at the same time. We had to go to the bathroom separately because your seats were not yours. They could be
Yeah.
taken by anybody. And they massively oversold that show. That's a thing that younger kids probably don't know about, is that shows got oversold.
I
And
remember
if
the
you were
only time I
late,
ever got oversold to a show was when I saw Alice in Wonderland. And they sold us tickets to it. And then we go in, and it's literally standing room only. And there was
yeah,
nowhere to sit. So we just sat
yeah,
on the floor and they kicked us out.
yep. That's what happened to people in our theater as well. There's people that came in, there was no seats anywhere, shoulder to shoulder in the IMAX theater,
Mm-hmm.
which is a huge theater, biggest theater I know of, biggest auditorium I know of. And they came in, they couldn't find a seat even separate from each other. They sat on the stairs and they were kicked out within a couple minutes because they were
Yeah.
told it was a fire hazard.
Yep. Exactly.
And that's just what would happen. It was first come, first serve. And we got there. But keep in mind, when we got there 6 hours early, we were not the only ones there. It was already half full 6 hours early.
Let you in the auditorium that early.
Yep. Yep. Which
Wow.
was also a weird thing too, because I only had one other experience where we were able to get in that early, and that was for Watchmen the next year, 2009, Watchmen. And we had to get to that. That one was another one that was completely sold out. And we had to get in there. I think we were 5 hours early for that one, and it was the same sort of thing. But yeah, we hung out, we talked to other people, we played games, and the anticipation was electric, because that was also a time where people could show up to the theater wearing masks and costumes,
Yeah.
and you name it. So there was Batmans, there was Jokers, there was Two-Faces, there was so many people that were so hyped for this movie, and we're just hanging out with them. It was such a good time. And then the movie started, and it exceeded my expectations. My expectations were through the roof. It went to space with my expectations. I mean, it was exactly what I wanted and more. So that, hands down, that was my favorite movie going experience, which is a good thing, because if I went to that theater that I went to the other day,
Oh
not
God.
yours, but the other
Oh,
one,
oh, oh.
and I only had the memory of Spider-Man 3, seeing that there, I probably would want to burn the place down. But then I have to say, no, 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 Brandon, no, no, no. This is where you saw the Dark Knight. And I go, yes, that's true. Okay. I like you, theater. So it stays, it stays up to this day.
Well, that's
And
good.
yeah, and it was just wonderful. I just think back on it all the time and I just go
Glorious.
Indeed. So this now brings us to the indifferent. So bad experience, but because of the people. So I will hand it off to you, sir.
So surprisingly, I haven't seen too many movies where the audience ruins it. I actually only one time has that happened to me. And it
Me
was
too.
a month after I met Brandon, actually. So this is December of 2019. A little movie comes out. It's called Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Now, it's not the movie that disappointed me because my expectations were already like next to dinosaur bones because of The Last Jedi. So nothing really could have been worse than in my thought process at the time. Nothing could have been worse than that movie. Like that was just prequel flashbacks up the ass. And anyway, so
it's okay if you guys if you like it though. Anybody out there listening, that's fine. We're not trying to rain on your parade.
Because Rise of Skywalker is a substantially better movie, but I mean that's still not saying too much. So I remember Brandon is talking to Mario, and they're about to spoil the movie as I come around the corner stocking the ramekins. I remember it specifically, and I said, I haven't seen the movie yet. I don't want to hear it. And then I said to Brandon, should I just go get my ticket today? And he goes, yeah. He doesn't really know me at this point. And so I go order my ticket that day. I go after work. I go to see the movie. I stop by the overpriced AMC bar called McGuffin's and get like a $14 beer. And I sit down. It is absolutely packed. You could still pick your seat at this time, but I obviously saw the movie alone, which is fine. I'm like toward the front. We're all packed in like sardines, and the seats did recline, so they're bigger and you have more space. Thank God, because this is where the problem in lies.
I'm so excited.
So Brandon, as you know, I am not a big dude. I am a short guy. All right.
Very tiny.
I am smack dab in between two people that are the size of Kevin G.
I was just about to say two Kevins.
So yes. I'm right in between two Kevins, just like, okay, whatever. I'm just drinking my beer. And the guy next to me, everybody's drinking beer. It's all the old guys. We're all the crusty old men.
Yeah.
We're sitting here getting ready for Star Wars.
So they're drunk and belligerent.
The guy next to me on my left was pretty cool. We both had Star Wars shirts on. We were just talking. The other guy was like, you could just smell the beer coming off his breath. You could tell he was like sitting with a 6-pack in the parking lot before he got in there or something.
Yeah.
So we're just shooting the shit, and then like the movie starts. Like the theme goes off, and everyone's just like losing their minds. The title crawl starts.
The dead speak.
Amped. I love that line. I think that is genius. It's so cheesy Saturday morning. I love that opening.
Yeah, it's fine.
The dead speak. Anyway, so it starts off, and the guy next to me, the super drunk guy, just goes, "Oh fuck yeah, yeah, fuck yes." It sounds like he's coming, basically.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And he goes,
"Did you see both of his hands?"
And he just goes, "This is fucking Star Wars, bro." And then literally, like before that weird little green alien guy could be like, win the war. This guy passes out like
that's good, right?
Loud as fuck, dude.
Oh,
Everyone's just
okay.
turning around looking at this guy, but no one wants to like wake him up.
Yeah.
He's just some big ass, drunk guy. He was like almost 7 feet tall. It's huge.
Right.
And the guy next to me, we start complaining about it. And I didn't want to get up to go. I hate getting up to go to the bathroom or go get management or anything that you need to do for a movie. So I just sucked it up. And then not only that, there was a little blip on the screen that looked like a little triangle, and it was there the entire movie. And it just ruined it too. And the funny thing about that was, so the title crawl starts, and I see that, and it's the point of, so it's like this.
Mm-hmm.
The literal point of like the triangle is on a star, like a real bright star, for the background. And I thought it was like a part of the movie. I thought it was like gonna flicker and then like turn on into some like beam and be like some new like Star Wars intro. And I was severely mistaken because that never went away. So anyway, so not only that, the screen's messed up. This dude's snoring like within 3 minutes of the movie starting. No one wants to get up. Everyone's excited. Star Wars. Eventually, the guy next to me says, I can't take this, bro. And he goes and gets management. Someone comes in, shakes him, wakes him up. And he wakes up and he goes, oh, sorry. I'll wake up. I'm sorry. Falls right back asleep, snores the rest of the movie. And I cannot make this up. The guy next to me who got management falls asleep and starts snoring too. So I am just stuck in between two snoring drunks watching this movie. I couldn't appreciate a damn thing that was happening in this movie. So I later went and bought it on Blu-ray, and for what it's worth, it has its moments. Oh boy, that I've never had an experience that bad ever again.
Wow.
And, it sucked.
You should hate that movie because of that experience. So good on you.
Yeah. I ended up liking, some things for what it's worth. I really like that entire scene where they're in the desert, where it's like almost all practical effects with like the puppets and stuff. They did like the whole thing for it. I love Babu Frick. There's some things I like about the movie. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
I have to say this.
It's just wholly expected.
I like the Raylo, Kylo and Rey being an item. I like it. I'm sorry. You know what? Can I have something in these movies? Like, give me some romance, give me some sex, give me some drama. Okay, I need something out of this fucking movie.
Not from Star Wars.
Don't have it on 4K.
You get only your Raylo out of here. You're a disgrace to humanity.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about that movie was that they brought Kylo Ren's mask back.
Yeah.
If just for a moment.
I love that scene with those weird little monkey dudes that are like soldering the mask together. They look like monkeys, but then they have like these weird like Ratchet and Clank ears hanging off of them, and they're just so bizarre. And it's funny because so it shows that, and then like if I remember the movie correctly, it cuts immediately to like the Knights of Ren like trying to hunt down Poe and all them. And I'm like, are the Knights of Ren just rolling with a bunch of monkeys? It's hilarious.
I was happy to see the Knights of Ren as well. I just wish they had more
and then
personality.
C-3PO is wearing a fucking hoodie. Why have they never done this? He's wearing a jacket in that scene.
Like when he's in the town.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe I like the movie more than I think. I don't know. Maybe I gotta watch it and my memories are just gonna be completely wrong.
That was my experience with it. Like
really?
I saw it in theaters and I was like,
I remember you genuinely enjoying it. I remember you talking about it with Mario and Kevin, especially about Babu Frick.
I think that your memory is severely altered. Definitely, we talked about Babu Frick, but it was
maybe it was Kevin that liked him more.
Of the conversation.
You got to remember, I was like a month into working there at this time. So
right. Yeah. It was an enjoyable experience. It was sure better than The Last Jedi, that's for sure. But I've said this before, it was exactly what I expected. And you never want to say that about a movie, exactly what you expected, you know?
Yeah.
So that was it for me. And then I rewatched it just a couple months ago, and I was like, I it's not bad.
Does the part
It
with
was just
Hans
not
Force
great.
Ghost hold up? Because I liked that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Totally. Um that metal that they're using, it's called solder.
Solder with an L.
Oh
I'm
Jesus.
glad that you
I
thought about this after I said it and then bring
I
it up
would
to further
I
humiliate me.
I thought of it when you said it, but I didn't want to interrupt and mess up the flow. But I had to be sure. I had to be sure. Um that's good. That's
Also,
good
side note,
times.
I'm glad that we have seen all of these picks in the theaters. Every movie that we picked, we have seen in the theaters. I'm that I didn't expect
Yes.
that, so that's cool.
Well, it had to be because
No,
it's
I'm saying
cinematic
that we
experiences.
both saw them
Oh,
in the
yeah.
theaters.
Of
Like it
course,
wasn't
of
something that
course.
I saw that you didn't. So that way we could sort of compare it. You didn't
Yes.
see Toy Story 3 in
Yes.
theaters though, did you?
I did not.
Oh, okay, there we go. I'm wrong.
Eh,
Side note, this guy
oh
does
well.
not like Toy Story 3.
I don't. I'll have
You
to
you like the
rewatch it
first
though
two
and
though,
see.
right? At least.
Yes. Yes.
Thank God.
Especially the first one.
Yeah, the first one's obviously the best.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to rewatch it and
You
then we'll
do.
have an
And we're gonna
episode
have an
about it.
episode, yes.
We'll see if my feelings have changed, and then I'll watch 4, which if you think that one's bad, then God, I don't know what it was gonna be
The
waiting
only
for me.
one
But anyway,
the only one I'd have to rewatch for that would be 4 then, to tell you the truth. Because I really pushed that movie out of my memory. A lot of the
yeah.
times I forget it exists.
I mean, it'd be fun.
It would
Certainly.
be. So
Um,
anyway.
yeah, so my experience is very recent.
Is it the
Very
one that we just
recent.
talked about?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
See, I never that I can remember, I've never had my fellow audience members ruin a movie for me. Thankfully, you know, I'm not complaining. Trust me, I'm not complaining anyway. Um, I do remember very clearly when I saw Rob Zombie's Halloween, there was a fist fight that almost broke out.
It's awesome.
But that was just funny. So,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't care. Um, once again, another drunk guy. But
Those damn
this
drunks.
one was for, you know, Halloween as well. Halloween Kills. And it had nothing to do with the movie at all. But my dad and I went to go see it. It was my third time seeing it. I've seen it 3 times, all in theaters, not
He has to
Peacock.
make that note for you.
I do. I do. And the first 2 times were fine. I mean, the first time was the best. The second time was just because of the theater was janky. I can relate to the screen degradation as well, because those screens break down. I found that out firsthand when I went and saw a movie at MJR, and it had stuff all on the screen, and anytime the screen was black, you could see the screen was messed up. It had like lines on it and stuff. And I complained about it, and they gave me a free movie credit, and they said that the screen needed to be replaced, that they it's been a long time coming. They have to replace them every few months, and that one, it was breaking down past the point. So they were like, sorry, we pushed it longer than we should have, blah blah blah, and they gave me a free movie credit, and that was awesome.
You know, I have seen a few movies actually, and I didn't put them in my experience where it ruined it per se, but like where something happens to the projector or something goes wrong. The only time I was ever unable to finish a movie, Harry Potter, again, I saw Prisoner of Azkaban for like the 4th time in theaters. And this is still when the film, it wasn't digital at that point, obviously, it was still film. The film reel like snapped or something. Like it was the part where Dumbledore and Snape were talking in the Great Hall when they evacuated the Gryffindor common room at night. And like right as Dumbledore looks down at Harry, like it just cuts and stops. And yeah, they had to give us our money back because they didn't have any other film reels of the movie. Couldn't finish it. And then the last time I saw a movie in theaters before the pandemic, which was Onward, something happened halfway through where it cut off. But since it's digital, they were able to fix it and then do it. So, whatever. I guess I throw that in there.
I saw a movie one time, I can't remember what it was, where they had to start it and it had no sound.
Oh, okay.
And they had to stop it and then restart it with sound. It was like 10 minutes or so of the movie going. Can't remember what that was, but that was annoying. But
oh god,
it's not a ruining.
Yeah, another time when I saw Child's Play, the remake, they forgot to turn the lights off when the movie started. And
your theater's awful, I swear.
I wasn't getting up. I was not getting up because it starts off with the Buddy commercial, and I was like,
"Yep."
Hilariously, I literally said out loud, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, somebody yelled that out in my theater as well.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not the only one. I was legitimately laughing my ass off.
Yeah, it was funny.
Hi, I'm Buddy.
And it was meant to be funny too, so that's what's good about it. It's not like Don Mancini's work that's funny for.
Yeah, we'll find out tonight in the next episode. I don't know why I keep watching that show. It's so bad. Oh my god!
I'm gonna watch it all the way through, and you are too. So
can I just mention that? Why did they use one of the producers' little kids to be Chucky when they were trick or treating? Because that thing moved like a human, and it looked so bad. It was so bad.
So I think that first off, when this show's done, we're gonna do an episode.
We're doing autopsy on this shit.
And I did not think it looked bad when it was trick or treating. I could see the neck under the Hello Kitty mask. I could see that was a human neck. My issue was because at least it was small, like it was tiny, like Chucky should be. There was a moment earlier in the episode where he's like walking around and then over somebody's shoulder, you see him turn around and walk up the stairs. And I'm like, what was that? It was like a 7-year-old kid in the costume.
It's like in the original one when Andy's in the hospital and he's locked in the room and he looks out the window and sees Chucky. And it's obviously like a little person in a suit crawling up there. Or like when he puts the that head thing on Dr. Ardmore and shocks him. Like you can just, the way he walks and puts it down. Yeah, I mean, in the series, there's a history of things like that. But I prefer when they have a straight up puppet with 2 green rods at the end and they just make it work. Because a puppet will move like a doll. You know what I mean? So don't use the excuse that I'm turning human again. Don't give me that bullshit. I don't want to hear that.
I'll tell you that the trick-or-treating thing was probably just to make it easier because they had so many extras in the scene to have to go in and rotoscope around the doll and put it back in and then repaint in, because that's what they have to do. They have to repaint in all the stuff that was in the background. And they were probably like, no way. So we're just going to have a kid do it.
Which,
or a
little TV series. That's fine, I guess. But yeah, so
I thought, that was not a big
I meant to say that to you when we talked about it previously, but I forgot to mention it. So
a lot of things in that show are a big deal, but not
we should move on though, because we'll talk about that for too long.
I agree. And so this was not an issue with the screen. This was an issue with my fellow audience. And my God, was it bad. So this was at Lucas's theater, the theater that he always loves so much, and
which always has a whole litany of problems. You guys like that word? Litany.
It can't even be defended now at this point. Not that it could have been before, but really it can't now. And let me just tell you, it's in an area that used to not be ghetto. It's ghetto now. There's been several shootings there, 2 with just in the last year. And
tell me why I keep going here, guys.
I don't know. I don't know. It's not because it's not even good. I mean, the Dolby, I'll give you the Dolby is fine. But if you're not able to see something in Dolby, it's not good anyway.
It's not. No, because it's also a toss up. Some of the screens are like a fly speck size screen. Oh, they have some auditoriums in there that
Yeah.
I shit you not, seat maybe 35 people.
Yeah. Well, and it's weird too because it's still like an old style setup as well. So even with the recliners, it's set up in a bad way, that old way where if you don't pick the perfect seat, you're at a disadvantage. You're screwed.
That's why I always
You
sit in the front
you're
these
you're
days
not
with like the recliner seats because it
you're
doesn't
not
affect my
getting a
experience.
good view of the screen. I go for the middle. And if you're on any of the sides or anything like that, the way that modern theaters are, you can sit in every single seat in the theater and have the same
Yeah, don't
experience
they
as
have kind of like a
everybody
curved screen
else.
to it or something? It's
The
like
screen's
made
curved,
differently.
all the seats are subtly facing that way. It's just the way that it's
Oh,
the
I see.
floor is set up, the way everything is set up, you're fine. Every single seat except the very front row, which is
This is the
trash because
cheapo
it's gonna
shit
hurt
can
your neck.
version.
It's great. The way that this theater is set up, because it is so old, like you have to pick the absolute perfect seat. So um but that wasn't the issue here. The issue was the fact that there was audience members that were talking through the entirety of the movie. Now, my dad and I walk in, we're on time. The previews haven't even started yet. We sit down, and my dad curses us to damnation by saying, "We're one of the only ones in the theater."
Oh God.
And I'm like, "Indeed, indeed we are." And steadily as time goes on, people start filtering through the door later and later and later. And then a whole family, again, this was Halloween Kills, the most violent Halloween movie ever, where they sit down, a mom, a dad, and two little kids, like a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Just like my theater, except I had a total opposite experience with a well-behaved family behind me, even though they were
Yeah.
children. So Brandon, tell them about it.
Thankfully, you did. This was awful. They sat right next to me, and I'm like, I'm gonna move, but I had to wait and
Yeah, to
scope it
see
out
who.
to see that nobody else was gonna come in and take those seats, and they did. There was more people that sat on that side, but it's like this theater's mostly empty. Why are you sitting so close to us? And even though it was the middle of the theater, I don't care. We got there before you. Pick something else. Sit at least 2 seats away from us. Or at least one, maybe even one seat. I'll take that. You got to have a buffer zone. But no,
Yeah.
they're right on top of me. They're talking the whole time. They're making jokes. The movie is loud. So the wife is like, "Yeah, so I saw Linda the other day at work." Like she's leaning over in her chair, screaming at her husband because she needs to have her voice louder than the movie. So there was that. There was the kids running back and forth,
Oh,
playing as
that's a
the
kiss of
movie's
death
going
too. I
on.
hate kids in movie theaters. Good God,
There
I don't
was
like
the
kids in general. But
father that
Jesus.
reeked of weed and alcohol and was eating like this. You could literally hear it. There were people behind me that were shaking their, I wish I had an example that I could shaking their popcorn constantly. When they weren't shaking their popcorn, they were chewing their ice from their drink.
Oh man, everything that could have went wrong was going wrong. It's like in a scary movie with that scene with Brenda, and everyone stabs her to death.
Because that's coming. So there was the people on the left side of me. They were just chit-chatting the whole movie.
Yeah.
There was kids. They were constantly getting up, walking down the stairs, leaving, coming back in, running up and down the stairs constantly. So people constantly walking in front of the screen. And then the icing on the cake. No, that's not even the icing on the cake.
Sundae.
This was the icing. This one, the cherry's coming.
Okay.
But the icing was the two people laying down in the front, the very front row, with their phones like this up in the air, them looking at it, playing on their phone on full brightness the entire movie.
If you're gonna be
And
on your phone,
yes,
fucking turn the brightness all the way down.
turn the brightness down and get to as far back in the theater as you possibly can, because this was like 2 spotlights coming up in my eyes. I waited for like 2 minutes. I was getting so mad. I am somebody that is very non-confrontational. I almost got up and screamed, "Put your fucking phone away." And I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. This whole theater is going to turn on me, and I'm
Yeah,
not
you're
going to
gonna be the
leave
one
here
to get stabbed
alive.
like Brenda.
So exactly. So I just went out very calmly, got an employee, told them the situation. She walked in, scoped it out, and then turned around and left. Didn't do anything about it.
Wow.
So now I'm just screwed. They're down there playing on their phone. And on top of playing on their phone, they're also really loud. If a scene happened in the movie that they like, they go,
So basically, you got a free review from them. You got to know everything they thought of the
yep,
movie.
correct. And they're anytime they'd laugh, their phone started shaking wildly in their hands. So then it was like a strobe light that was spinning around in my
Okay.
eyes. And then now the cherry on the shit Sunday was the people that were a row in front of us now on the grounds, like,
Yeah.
they're on ground level. They talked and screamed at the screen. So when the very particular moment happened in the movie where Michael Myers kicks the door of the car, it swings back and hits her hand and she shoots herself in the face, I have to hear that shit funny. And I'm just like, where am I? Like, is this like the Twilight Zone? Like, what's going on here? And that was the moment that stuck out to me the most. But it was just the whole kind of thing. The scene with the older couple with the drone. I hear, "Don't
Oh
go
God.
in there. No. Shit, no. Don't go in there. No. No. Oh, shit, Michael Myers. Oh. Oh, he got him. He dead. Oh, he dead now. Oh, she's still alive. She's still alive. Oh, she's watching her husband. What are you doing? What are you doing with those knives? Oh shit, what's he doing with those knives? That it was like commentary over the whole movie. I love how you were just so entranced by that. Just watch.
I can just picture it so clearly. And
Yeah. And so that was my experience. My dad, who was sitting next to me to my right, he got all of that and some more, because he was picking up on people that were talking behind him, further down in the row, people talking. It was like, the kind of thing people do when they're like kind of scared, but they don't want to show they're scared, and they laugh at things that aren't funny, to try to be like tough. That
yeah.
was going on. And it was just, I literally, thank God that was my third time seeing the movie, because I was indifferent to it. I had no idea. There we go. I had no idea what was going on in that movie. And I was so angry because this was my dad's first time seeing the movie. I
Yeah.
wanted him to see it. And he really didn't get to see it, unfortunately. Which was massively disappointing, because it's not the greatest movie in the world, but he's invested in the story. He loved the last one, and it's a continuing story of the Strodes, right? So that was the biggest disappointment to me, was the fact that he wasn't really even able to see the movie. So it was so bad. So I've never had an experience like that before, that just completely demolished the experience because of the people. And the funny thing to me, and I'll end the story saying this, that it's streaming on Peacock. The theaters should be there for people that want to have the cinematic experience. If
Mhm.
you don't care about the cinematic experience, which as far as I could tell, none of
No
these
one
people
did in that
cared
theater.
about it, go home. Watch the movie for $5 a month. Like you pay $5 that covers you for the whole month. Watch the movie as many times as you want. Then go home, yell at your TV screen, play on your phone. I don't care what you do. Let your kids run around. Why did you have to come to the theater and do this? It was so unnecessary. If I didn't want to just get out of there right away, I would have pulled a Karen and I would have talked to a manager
I
and
think I would
seen
have
if they could have
actually.
done something for me, because I'm not usually that kind of person. Like I've said, I've talked to them before about their screens. But I only got something for it once. They only gave me a credit one time. I've told them about it, not because I want something, but because I want them to replace the screens. I want to have a better experience the next time I come in.
Right.
But this was just like the movie was just destroyed, just absolutely destroyed. And I don't know. It just worries me for if this is how audiences are now, if this is the post-COVID audience, then what's going to happen when I see something that I actually care about for the first time, you know? But I'll tell you what, I'll go to a different theater. I will always see something for the first time at, a theater that's not that one.
Mhm.
Really, probably Imagine. And I've never had an experience like that at Imagine, luckily. So, I don't know. I got, I relived the trauma of that experience, or as Jamie Lee Curtis likes to put it, trauma. The trauma of that experience.
Huh.
And
Didn't know she says it like that.
yeah,
Trauma.
it's weird. It's
You
so
got some
weird.
trauma there, dear. Some trauma.
Trauma. Yeah. And yeah, but so that wasn't good. That wasn't good. But
Wow, it happened at my theater too.
it was. It was the same clientele, probably the people from that general vicinity of Michigan.
Oh my God.
And I
Yeah.
don't
So
mean, if anybody thinks that I'm saying black people, that's not what I'm saying. It's
no, we're just talking about trash.
everybody from that area. Yes. Everybody. I just had to make that known because it made it seem like I was just talking about like a specific group of people. It's not that. It's just
Before
if you
Brandon
live in
cancels
that.
us.
Exactly. Exactly. And then it ends up just being, why is Lucas still here?
Yeah.
But no, it's just people that are trash, and they just don't care about others.
Yeah, they just I was
And
gonna say they just have a general disregard for people. So
yep, yep, selfish,
yep. So I
ignorant
guess
people.
those are our memorable movie experiences. Theater going
Yeah,
experiences, actually, to be
indeed.
more specific. Um, I guess just as a side one, I've always loved every single Harry Potter um midnight screening. Everybody would dress up, wear cloaks, have wands, wear glasses, and
Oh yeah,
it was
yeah.
that was another fun thing that I'll never be able to relive again. And the Toy Story 3 one is just a premiere experience, because I mean the first two, I remember seeing the second one in theaters, but like I remember like the beginning of it. I remember like the Woody's Roundup like part, and I remember the ending where he uses his string as a lasso on the airplane. And that's like the only thing I
Okay,
remember, because that was like 99. We were still really young at that point. And
yeah.
so this, that was just like a fully realized Toy Story experience. And then when I saw it again in Dolby Cinema at that same ghetto theater, that was a fine movie going experience, but the movie sucked. So whatever.
That was for 4.
Yeah, I just have a huge disdain for 4. I will talk about it, but I don't like that movie. I don't. It sucks. It's so unnecessary. It's the
Yeah.
definition of unnecessary. I'm real bitter about that movie. They just ruined Woody's character and Buzz's. Everyone's character non-existent in that movie. Horrible, horrible,
Yeah.
horrible, horrible. Ugh.
Horrible.
I'm not.
Why would Tom Hanks and Tim Allen sign off on this?
Oh, when they said that there was going to be a fourth one, like right after the third one was announced, I was like, yeah, they always say that. That's not going to happen. What are they going to do? They ended it perfectly.
I think there's 2 more that they plan on making as well to make it 6 altogether.
Well, I don't want to fucking see them.
And I'm sure you know, I'm preaching to the choir on this one. It takes them like 10 years to make each movie.
Yeah.
So, you know,
to render one frame of those movies is
yeah,
so much time.
They render do like the recording session with the cast first and just go from there. It's insane. I think the only reason that the first 2 were able to come out 2 years apart is simply because they were pretty much making those movies simultaneously. Yeah. So I believe that's it. Plus
they came out 4 years with each other. 95 is the original, 99 is the second.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking 95 and 97.
Nope, 95 and 99. And then 10 years is the next one. And then 10 years is the fourth one, actually. So there was in between 2, 3, and 4, there was a consistent 10-year gap. So the hype for Toy Story 4 was real. I guess I could throw that in there as our bonus thing. Yeah, that movie I hated it. My expectations were extremely high. I mean, that was probably the last time I went into a movie with high expectations. Ever since then, I walk in expecting the worst a lot. God, I hated it. I want to tell you, do you know anything about that movie?
About the fourth one? You talked about it before on this show. And you talked about Woody's character and how trash it was and the decisions they made and all that kind of stuff. But no, not really. I know Forky.
All right, well, because I don't want to tell you how it ends then, because that's my biggest point of contention with this movie. Yeah. Other than the fact that Buzz is debatably dumber than he is in the original movie. Did you know that about this movie?
Buzz, I know it from you.
To find Woody, I think I said that, uses his inner voice. He fucking presses his own buttons, and then whatever he says somehow correlates to exactly where Woody is. And it's just
right.
Is this the Buzz with the utility belt in the second movie? They just swapped him and no one ever realized because he's really fucking stupid. Like Buzz, there's a part when they're at the carnival, like he legitimately tries to fly. And it's like, dude, you broke your arm in the first movie, realizing you're
going back to the first one. Yeah, why?
But it's not good.
They're undoing the character development.
That's why it's so trash. So watch all of them. You'll have it. So you'll probably still not like 3, but when you watch 4, you will have an undying appreciation for the third one.
I'm sure.
Oh boy.
The only good thing about that movie is the funny, advertising that was going on alongside Child's Play at the time.
I loved because Chucky was killing like Buzz and Woody and Slinky. Yeah, all those were there.
He was killing Slinky. He killed Woody. I don't think there was ever a Buzz one, but you'd see like Chucky's foot.
Oh, there was a Rex one as well, I think.
Okay, like you'd see a dead Woody on the ground with stuffing coming out of him, and then Chucky's foot stepping away at the side of the screen.
Yeah, so that's another thing about that experience. So Toy Story 4 came out day and day with Child's Play, and I remember
there's a bit of a rivalry.
Yeah, there was, and I mean, obviously, Toy Story demolished it. Everybody knew that was going to happen anyway.
Yeah, but it was a joke.
It was all in good fun.
Living toys.
So it was very beautifully done, and I remember because I always go on Thursday nights to go see a movie, because I want to see it as early as possible.
Of course.
And then it was either see Toy Story 4 or Child's Play. So I obviously saw Toy Story 4 in Dolby. And then that following morning at like 10 a.m., I went to go see Child's Play with like the all other 6 people who were there. And then it's just like, I wonder, they're probably they're thinking, what is like the ticket holder or whatever? He's probably thinking like, what is this man doing with his life that he's here at 10 in the morning to go see Child's Play, probably stopping at McGuffin's?
There was a Buzz.
Yeah, there we go. Right. Yeah.
I never saw that one. That's funny.
So yeah, so Child's Play. Yeah, I always forget that those two came out day and day. Very interesting little day in history, and it's funny because they both revolve around a kid
Yes,
named Andy.
that's true as well. I didn't even think about that. This was the
Very, very
one
cool.
that I remember the most.
Yep. Yeah.
And it was funny too because Disney threatened to sue, which was
And
because
they
they had like
changed
a
the
little
colors.
rivalry. You know, it was like a funny little rivalry. Yeah, they had to change Woody's shirt to make it not look exact.
Yeah. So stupid.
So stupid. And this one may or may not. I guess it is official. It was on Dread Central, which is a website that would just show only official ones. So it's the Toy Story cast getting
That's
their revenge on
awesome. I
Chucky.
haven't seen that picture.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
it
That's
is.
amazing. Wow, you can
Yeah.
see Jesse's little cowgirl print from her pants up in
Yeah,
the top
yeah.
right.
It's
Her
funny because they
chaps.
don't give a crap about any character, but when it comes to like Jesse or Buzz or Woody, they have to cut them off and make it look
Mm-hmm.
ambiguous, but they don't care about,
The alien
like
in the bottom is
Sid's
identical. Same with
thing. Yeah.
the baby. Same with the green hand that's on the that's in the Jack in the Box. That's what that is.
Yeah. And the fishing pole
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
These are
That's
like
Ducky.
mostly
Those are
Sid's
Ducky and
toys.
Legs. Those are they're all Sid's toys except for Jesse.
Right. Yeah, that's
Well, and then
funny.
the
Maybe
alien
that's
will
why they didn't
follow
care.
Buzz and
Yes.
Woody back to Sid's house in the
Right,
bag.
right.
So, oh, it's
Yeah,
cool. I
that's
never
really
saw that one.
funny. I never
God,
did either. That's
that
really
art really
clever.
highlights how goofy Chucky's face looks in the remake. How angularly strange he
I
is.
like it though. It's different. Certainly better than what we're getting right now.
Yes, sir. You
They
know, it
had a
has its
ham
moments where
one.
the doll looks okay.
That's really
That's
funny.
funny.
God, they were on they're like A list.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying. Uh I guess these are A tier advertisements.
Yeah, there's the Rex one. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
clever.
awesome. Yeah, and of course I told you about the Child's Play problem I had. There's a problem with that movie too. Oh man. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
why are we still here right now? I gotta get ready to go to work as
I
per
don't
usual every
know. Yes,
Tuesday.
you do. Yes, you do. And
Where every
then
Tuesday I
to end it
literally
off,
get there by the skin of my damn
there's a
teeth.
slink.
There we go. Oh yeah. Ugh, I remember that one too.
Yeah, it's good. Damn, it's so good. See, I love the Child's Play movie. I think it started off with this advertising campaign there, which was so much fun and so funny. And it just went right into the movie, which was also really fun and funny and just a good movie. And the first time I've been afraid of Chucky in years. So there you go. There's my review of Child's Play 2019.
Yeah, we'll have a whole
But
Chucky extravaganza at some point. I mean, well, there's never
we could
things to run out to talk about.
we could fit it in somewhere down the line, yeah. But ultimately, why are you still here?
Yeah, we need to go. So
What are
tell
you
us,
doing?
our one subscriber friend who continually comments on our channel, tell us about
Yes.
your movie theater experiences.
Please. What is your good, your bad, and your indifferent? We'd love to hear it. Truly,
Yeah, we would.
truly. It
Trust
sounded
us.
weirdly sarcastic when I said that, but truly.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you. But all right.
All right. Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Be sure to go to the movies too. Enjoy it.
Please.
Enjoy them while they're still around, please.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.